Superhero Stepdad back. I have a nice 35 or so card order that I just got back from PSA with some vintage cards. Let's take a look and see what we got here. 1960 Whitey Ford got a PSA 3. You can see card it's off-centered. It's got some corner issue, as you can see. This card here I thought was going to grade a lot higher. It's a 62 Topps Bill Mazeroski All-Star. I'll try to zoom in. I had this pre-graded as like an 8 or a 9. See if I can get this to close up. It's really good, really sharp. The corners are incredible. The centering is great. It's not perfect. I think the only issue is this line at the bottom, which is like a print line, which I've seen on others that didn't really take off the grading, but they must have knocked it for that. Because other than that, there's not really much of an issue at all. The back centering is fantastic. But they gave it a 6, so I'm not sure if I should crack this and resend it, or if this line will make it come back a lower grade again. Let me know if anybody has experience with that red line down there on the bottom, as you can see. But other than that, as you can see, the corners are really sharp. But that's what I got. 62 Bob Gibson got a 2. It has one of those lines at the top as well. This one's obviously not in anywhere near as good a shape as the Maz card, but it's still a nice card. One of the best pictures. 63 Tony Kubek got a 5. I think I picked this up for $1 at a show. Jim Cott, 63 Fleer, PSA 6. Not bad. Green border is pretty difficult to keep free from chipping or anything, but this one wasn't bad. Tom Seaver, 68 Topps All-Star Rookie, got a 3 miscut. As you can see, the right border is non-existent here. Yeah, that's the reason for the miscut. And the 3, it's pretty rounded down there in that corner. Backside, that corners, yeah, it's pretty fair grade. Mr. Juice, OJ, got a 5 with a mark. There's some writing on the back. This card's not bad. Move these out of the way, they're causing some glare. There's the writing is on his jersey there. Somebody wrote 72 on the jersey right there. Right there. Other than that, the card's not bad. '71 Reggie, 5 miscut. Little surprised I got the miscut. They were handing out the qualifiers quite often in this order. This one, it could have got it, it could have not. They decided to give it. Actually, I think it's for the back. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, it deserves it. The number itself is cut off right there. Forgot it was the back side that really was deserving. Burt Blyleven, 1971, gets a 4. I've seen in numerous of this Blyleven card, usually get around a 5 or a 6. But this one's deserving of a 4. Pretty rough around the corner, especially that one right down there. Back's not too bad. 71 Tom Seaver gets a 5. Jim Cott, 71, gets a 4. Been sending in tons of 71s lately. They're great cards. Find them quite often in the raw. They're just so hard to get high grades, which is obvious because of the black borders, but quite a bit of corner wear there. Pretty accurate on that. Here's 71 Hoyt Wilhelm gets a 7. This card's pretty sharp. I think it's the centering that really knocked this down, and there's a tiny bit of corner wear down there. You can see just a touch of white. Steve Garvey gets a 5. I believe this is his rookie. Yeah, I think, maybe wrong, but I want to say it's his rookie card. Might be his second year. Bet out of 5. Second one gets a 6. That one's good. Let's look at these up close here, actually. This one's got a 5. Yeah, I see. Okay, so the top corners are pretty bad on this one. The centering isn't terrible. The corners are pretty rough there. And then the 6, yeah, the corners aren't as bad there. Centering's about the same. That corner, the bottom right corner here, is really bad. The rest of the corners aren't that bad. So that's the reason for the 6. This one has overall, all 4 corners are got a touch of white, so pretty accurate on that. This is a good one. Don Sutton gets a 7. Great centering, little touch of white on some of the cornering there. Overall, it's a great example of this card. Let's go with Joe Torre. This card, again, was in like a $1 box. Got a 6. The centering left to right is pretty rough. Other than that, it's great. On the case. A few more onto the 74s here. Dave Parker, the Cobra. It's a nice copy and a 7. Pete Rose gets a 7. That right there, whatever that little almost watermark type thing is the reason, because this card's really nice otherwise. Would have scored or graded higher had it not been for that. Joe Morgan grades an 8. I feel like Joe Morgan, of any player that I grade, consistently gets the highest grade of all the Hall of Famers that I send in. I've had some 9s of his from the 70s cards. Some of my other video, there's a 9 of his. These two are the same. Such a cool card of Gary Carter, rest in peace. Both got a 6. The one on the right has better centering. The one on the left actually looks diamond cut, kind of, as you can see the border, unless it's the way the card is in the case. Purists, forgive me for doing that, but the card's okay in there. There's been tests that show that the card won't get hurt doing that. Is it the way it's sitting in there? It looks like it's tilted. But regardless. Both got a 6. On to the 77s, we got Tom Seaver with a 6. Nice card there. We got Steve Garvey again here with a 6. This grader, it seemed like we're getting low. I know the pre-grades I had for these, for a lot of them, were 1.5 to 2 grades higher on most, not most, but quite a few of these cards. I've sent in dozens of orders this year, and for the most part, they've been quite accurate. Here's a 6 for Nolan Ryan. This order especially, and the last order I sent in, I feel like they've been off by 1 to 2 grades on quite a few cards. I mean, I know that just it happens. Everybody complains about it. It is what it is. But I feel like they have been off lately with vintage cards. Here's a 7 for Steve Largent, rookie. Something right, looks like, unless it's the light, like right there in the left border. We have some 78s, Yaz. These cards can be difficult to grade because there's a lot of print bleeding and whatnot on the cards. Like down there underneath the K in his last name there, you can see something that's just part of the card. And up in the top, there's quite a bit up here. I'm guessing that's what they, it's common and it's just normal, but sometimes they'll knock it for that. Sometimes they won't. What is that? Is that a scratch on the case? Looks like that case might be scratched. I'll have to look at that later. Thurman Munson gets an 8. That's a great grade. I'll have to see what I had this pre-graded as, because actually down there underneath his name, it looks like there's some of the print, that ink. That's fantastically centered. Is that card scratched? These cards I just took them out of the box right now before I started filming this. I've not seen the light of day since they got here just now. It looks like 2 of these cases are scratched. George Brett with a 7. Again, more of the ink up in there. Perfectly centered card. A little bit left to right back centering, but that's not terrible. They must have knocked it for that centering. Don't know. Corners look fantastic. Again, let's look at these corners on the back side. Try to get a good angle. I'll have to check what I had that I probably had that pre-graded at least an 8, if not a 9. This one was at a $1 box. I wouldn't have sent it in if I didn't think it was going to get at least a 9. It's a strikeout leaders. Yeah, there's like the tiniest little touch right there. And what looks like possibly there. Don't think that's worthy of a 7. Carlton Fisk gets an 8. There's a clearly visible mark right there though. And the centering is not as good top to bottom. Centering is bad left to right. And you can see right there in the bottom left corner, a very visible white dot. Let's bring that George Brett card back. 7. The centering, it's got to be, yeah, it's got to just has to be this ink here that they took it down. There's no other explanation because this is perfect centering and no issues on the corners. It must be that's at least a 2 knock grade wise for those 2 little dots right there. That's the only thing I can think of. We got a grader that wanted to knock for that. Mike Schmidt, my favorite player. Let's go Phillies. As I'm filming this, they just advanced to the National League Championship Series last night. Mike Schmidt gets an 8. Quite the look you got going there, Schmitty. Perfect card. All right, last stack, we got a couple 79s. Nolan Ryan, actually we have 2 Nolan Ryans here. One with a 6 and one with a 7. Clearly the one with a 6 has terrible centering. One with a 7 has perfect centering. The back, the card's moving in there. But the one in the back centering is awful. This is the 7. Front centering is perfect. Back centering, awful. The 6, front centering, awful. Back centering, perfect. Go figure. Last 2 cards. Thurman Munson. What a great sideburns he's got there. My goodness. Got a 7. And the last card in this order, George Brett, 7. I've seen in so many of this card. I think I can't remember if I got a 9. I know I've got numerous 8s and 7s. It seems to be the trend. All right, I have another order that came back. That's a 3-card autograph order. I'm gonna film that and make a separate video of it because it's some Hall of Famers and some really cool cards. I'll upload that separately. And I have another couple orders that'll be back shortly. And as always, thanks for watching. All right, see ya.